Introduction. Your body hasn't given up. It's waiting for you to listen. Have you ever looked at your reflection and wondered where that spark went? The one you once carried so effortlessly in your body, your relationships, and your quietest moments of intimacy? You're not alone. As a urologist with over 30 years of experience guiding men through the challenges of aging, I can tell you this: the loss you feel is not your fault. It's not even always about age. Often, it's about blood flow, something we rarely think about until it begins to quietly fade away. But here's the good news. You don't need to turn to risky pills or miracle cures. The answers may already be sitting on your kitchen counter, vibrant, delicious, and waiting to help your body come alive again. In this guide, I'll share the top 10 fruits, grouped in powerful healing pairs, that can restore your circulation, sensitivity, and confidence. Backed by science, supported by patient success stories, and delivered with the care of someone who's seen men just like you take their lives back, one bite at a time. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. I share real, science-based solutions every week to help men over 60 feel strong, connected, and alive again. Now let's dive into nature's prescription. Certainly. Below is the rewritten Part 1 in natural flowing English prose, in the voice of Dr. James Rowen, a sincere, passionate urologist guiding men over 60 through a return to intimacy and vitality using natural methods. Pomegranate and watermelon, the nitric oxide duo that rekindles connection. George was 67 when he first walked into my clinic. A retired teacher, soft-spoken and kind, he sat across from me and hesitated before speaking. "Dr. Rowen," he said, lowering his gaze, "I still love my wife. We still walk together every morning. We still laugh, but my body doesn't seem to know how to respond anymore." His voice cracked, not from shame, but from the quiet grief of disconnection. This story, in one form or another, is one I hear often. And to every man who tells it, I say the same thing. It's not over. Your body hasn't given up on you. It's just waiting for a little help. For men over 60, the loss of intimacy is rarely about desire. The heart still longs. The emotions are still alive. What's missing is the flow. More specifically, blood flow, the lifeline of physical connection, responsiveness, and sensitivity. Without it, even the strongest relationships can begin to feel distant. That's where I always begin, with pomegranate and watermelon. Not because they're exotic or trendy, but because these two fruits, backed by powerful science, can revive your circulation naturally, without medication or side effects. Pomegranate is more than a symbol of passion. It's a circulatory powerhouse. Research published in Clinical Nutrition shows that regular consumption can increase nitric oxide production by up to 30%. Nitric oxide is the body's natural compound that tells your blood vessels to relax and open wide, allowing oxygen-rich blood to flow freely, especially to the areas most involved in intimacy and arousal. Watermelon, often seen as a summertime treat, contains citrulline, an amino acid your body converts into arginine, which in turn becomes nitric oxide. Think of pomegranate as flipping the on switch, while watermelon supplies the fuel. Together, they form a natural duo that mimics the effect of common circulation-boosting medications, but gently, safely, and with nourishment rather than chemicals. When George added just a small glass of pomegranate juice to his morning routine and started snacking on fresh watermelon after lunch, he didn't see an overnight miracle. What he experienced was more powerful. A quiet return of feeling, of warmth, of confidence. He called me 3 weeks later, voice steadier now, to say, "It's coming back, slowly, but it's coming." You see, this isn't just about biology. It's about reconnecting with your body, with your partner, and with the life you thought was fading away. A single slice of fruit, consistently enjoyed, can be a message to your body. I'm ready to feel again. If you've ever felt the desire, but not the response, if you've ever held your partner's hand and wished your body could echo the love in your heart, start here. Start simple. A glass of pomegranate juice. A few pieces of watermelon. This may be the beginning of your return. Not to youth, but to wholeness. Blueberries and strawberries, the vessel protectors, that restore sensitivity and presence. Not long ago, I had a patient named Richard, 72 years old, who came to see me after a long silence in his marriage. His words were slow, deliberate. I still feel love, doctor. I still want to connect. But it's like my body doesn't know how anymore. I'm there, but I'm not there. His struggle wasn't physical in the way most people think. His heart was full of love, but his body felt disconnected, distant from the touch, from the moment, from himself. That kind of quiet disconnection is more common than you think, and it often begins in the blood vessels. You see, the physical experience of intimacy, the warmth, the sensation, the responsiveness, is only possible when your vessels are healthy, flexible, and open. Unfortunately, with age, those vessels become stiffer, more inflamed, and less reactive. And that's where two small but mighty fruits come in, blueberries and strawberries. Let's talk about blueberries first. These deep blue gems are loaded with anthocyanins, powerful plant pigments that protect the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. When the endothelium is damaged by years of inflammation, poor diet, or oxidative stress, it loses its ability to expand and contract properly. That means restricted blood flow, not just to the heart or brain, but to the areas that bring closeness and pleasure. In a 2019 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults who consumed blueberries regularly showed measurable improvements in vascular responsiveness. In simpler terms, blood flowed better, more easily, more consistently. The body began to respond again. Then there are strawberries, often underestimated. These bright red fruits are rich in vitamin C and ellagic acid, both of which support collagen production. Collagen is the protein that keeps our blood vessels supple. As we age, collagen naturally declines, and vessels become rigid, like old rubber bands that don't stretch anymore. But with strawberries in your diet, you give your body the building blocks it needs to keep those vessels youthful. It's not just about science. It's about what this means in real life. I've had men tell me that after adding just a handful of berries to their morning oats or yogurt, they began to feel more alive. Not dramatically, not instantly, but gradually, almost imperceptibly, they found themselves more attuned to touch, more aware of their bodies, and more present with their partners. One patient described it best. It wasn't about sex, really. It was about not feeling numb. It was like color came back into a black and white world. That's what healthy vessels do. They restore color to your life. And blueberries and strawberries, though humble, have the power to make that happen. So, if you've been feeling dulled, distant, or just less than yourself in moments of closeness, try this. A daily serving of berries, either in a smoothie, on a salad, or straight from your hand. It's a small habit, but the message it sends to your body is loud and clear. Stay open, stay soft, stay connected. Kiwi and red grapes, the quiet repair crew for blood pressure and emotional reconnection. Sometimes the problems we face in intimacy don't come from lack of desire or even vessel damage, but from something more silent, more invisible: high blood pressure. It's one of the most underestimated saboteurs of intimacy in older men. I've seen men in their 60s and 70s blame themselves, their age, or even their partners, when what's truly getting in the way is the quiet constriction happening deep inside their arteries. Tightened, strained, resistant. When blood pressure is high, your vessels become stiff and narrow, making it harder for blood to flow to the places that matter most. Not just your heart, but your skin, your extremities, your organs of connection and sensation. And the longer this goes unchecked, the more your body forgets how to respond to touch, to closeness, to arousal. That's why when I see a patient like Ernest, 68, calm, emotionally engaged, but struggling with intimacy, the first thing I often recommend isn't a pill. It's kiwi and red grapes. Let's begin with kiwi. This bright green fruit may look simple, but its impact on blood pressure is profound. A study by the University of Oslo found that eating just 2 to 3 kiwis a day significantly lowered both systolic and diastolic blood pressure. That's no small feat. Rich in potassium, vitamin C, and antioxidants, kiwi helps relax your blood vessel walls, reduce oxidative stress, and improve overall circulation, gently, gradually, and safely. And then there are red grapes. Sweet, juicy, and often overlooked beyond a glass of wine, these grapes are packed with resveratrol, one of nature's most potent anti-aging compounds. What's extraordinary about resveratrol is that it doesn't just reduce inflammation, it repairs. It activates stem cells within the endothelium, helping to rebuild the lining of damaged blood vessels, making them more elastic and responsive. Imagine your arteries being softened from the inside, healed from years of stress, poor habits, and biological wear. That's what these fruits offer, restoration, not just prevention. I once worked with a couple, both in their early 70s, who had grown emotionally close over decades of marriage but confessed they had given up on physical intimacy. After I encouraged them to start their mornings with sliced kiwi and a handful of grapes, they returned to me a month later, smiling, brighter, closer. It's not just that we feel better, the wife said. It's that we feel closer. Like something's been opened between us that we didn't even know had closed. That's the quiet magic of this pairing. It doesn't shout. It doesn't act overnight. But slowly, it helps your body return to a natural rhythm where blood flows freely and where your emotions and sensations can once again move through you without resistance. So if you struggle with blood pressure or feel a fading connection that has no clear explanation, try this. Start your day with kiwi and grapes, not as medicine, but as nourishment, as a daily ritual of repair. Because every time you do, you're telling your body, you're not done. You're healing apples and avocados, strengthening arteries from the inside out. There's something deeply humbling about the conversations I've had with older men who've spent a lifetime providing, protecting, and building, only to arrive at a moment in life where their greatest desire is something profoundly human, to feel close again. Not just emotionally, but physically. To feel connected, desirable, alive. One such conversation stays with me to this day. Walter, a 74-year-old retired train engineer, came into my office not with a medical complaint, but a quiet kind of sadness. "Doc," he said, "I still think my wife is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. But my body, well, it's like the wires are frayed. The signals don't go through." He wasn't looking for a miracle. He was asking for hope. This is the part of my work that brings me the most meaning. Because so often, what seems like a complex problem actually begins with something very basic, something that happens inside the arteries. You see, over the years, our arteries, the very roads that carry blood, oxygen, and nutrients throughout the body, begin to lose their strength and flexibility. Inflammation builds. The lining becomes damaged. Cholesterol and plaque start to accumulate. And gradually, without pain or warning, those vessels stop responding the way they used to. That's where apples and avocados come in. Let's start with apples. We all know the phrase, "an apple a day keeps the doctor away," but few truly understand the science behind that wisdom. Apples are rich in a plant compound called quercetin, a natural flavonoid with powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Quercetin improves endothelial function, which means it helps the inner walls of your arteries stay smooth, elastic, and responsive. In a study published in Free Radical Biology and Medicine, quercetin was shown to reduce oxidative stress and enhance nitric oxide bioavailability, directly supporting better circulation. And not just to your heart and brain, but to the parts of your body responsible for intimacy, responsiveness, and arousal. Now add to that the quiet power of avocados, a fruit often mistaken for a vegetable, but nutritionally in a class of its own. Unlike apples, which clean and strengthen the vessels, avocados nourish them from the inside out. They are packed with monounsaturated fats, the kind that lowers LDL, bad cholesterol, and increases HDL, good cholesterol. This balance reduces plaque buildup, improves blood pressure, and supports healthy blood flow. But there's more. Avocados are incredibly rich in potassium, a mineral essential for relaxing blood vessel walls and regulating the electrical signals in the heart. Most older adults don't get enough potassium in their diet, and avocados offer nearly twice as much as a banana in just one serving. So, what happens when you bring these two together? You get a partnership. One fruit that clears the way, and another that strengthens the path. Apples reduce inflammation and help vessels respond better. Avocados provide the nutrients needed to keep those vessels supple, nourished, and ready for the demands of daily life, including moments of closeness. When I shared this with Walter, I didn't hand him a prescription. I handed him a plan. Add a crisp apple to your afternoon, I told him. And in the morning, mash some avocado on whole grain toast, drizzle a little olive oil, and sprinkle a pinch of sea salt. Do that every day. A few weeks later, Walter returned. Not just physically improved, but emotionally lifted. "We've been holding hands more," he said almost shyly. "Talking longer, laughing again. I didn't know it would matter this much. This isn't magic. It's biology remembered. When you feed your arteries what they truly need, they begin to open again, not just in your body, but in your life. Closeness returns, warmth returns, confidence returns. If you're a man over 60, I want you to know this. Your arteries are not too far gone. You don't need a new body. You just need a new rhythm of nourishment. So start simple. 1 apple, half an avocado, every day. Let this be your quiet revolution, where food becomes the way back to the man you know yourself to be. Mangoes and oranges, fighting fatigue and rekindling intimacy. I don't feel sick, Doc. I just don't feel much at all anymore. That was the way Harold, a 70-year-old former carpenter, described what he'd been going through. There wasn't a single complaint he could name. No specific pain, no pressing diagnosis. Just a lingering heaviness. In his energy, in his emotions, in his body's ability to connect with the world around him. His story mirrored what so many older men experience. Not a sharp decline, but a slow fading. A quiet erosion of the spark that once made intimacy, both physical and emotional, natural and effortless. In cases like Harold's, we're not just fighting poor circulation or vessel damage. We're fighting something deeper and more elusive. Oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is what happens when free radicals, those unstable molecules formed through aging, pollution, processed food, and chronic stress, begin to outnumber your body's defenses. Over time, they damage your cells, inflame your tissues, and stiffen your arteries. But perhaps most importantly, they dull your vitality, the kind of quiet energy that lets you feel alive in your own skin. That's where mangoes and oranges can work wonders. Let's start with mangoes, often dismissed as just a sweet indulgence. In truth, they're nutritional medicine disguised as dessert. Mangoes are high in beta-carotene, vitamin A, and vitamin C, a trio of antioxidants that help neutralize free radicals before they can do damage. Vitamin A is essential for cell repair, while vitamin C helps regenerate other antioxidants in the body and supports collagen production in your blood vessels, keeping them soft and elastic. But the benefits aren't just physical. One 2018 study in the journal Nutrients showed that regular intake of carotenoid-rich fruits like mangoes can reduce symptoms of fatigue, improve mood, and enhance cognitive performance, especially in older adults. Pair mangoes with oranges, and the result is a tropical synergy your body can feel. Oranges bring a compound most people have never heard of, but absolutely need, hesperidin. This citrus flavonoid has been shown to preserve nitric oxide, reduce inflammation, and improve endothelial function, meaning your vessels become more responsive, your circulation improves, and your body becomes better at responding to arousal and connection. Beyond the science, there's something almost symbolic about the color and scent of these fruits. Bright, vibrant, zesty, they awaken the senses. And that's exactly what they do internally as well. I often encourage patients, like Harold, to think of mangoes and oranges not just as food, but as a ritual of renewal. A chance each day to say, I still want to feel good. I still want to show up in my life. After a few weeks of incorporating mango into his lunch and having a fresh orange as an afternoon snack, Harold came back smiling. I'm not going to say I feel 25 again, he said, but I feel like I want to get up in the morning. I want to be close to my wife, even if it's just holding her hand while we drink coffee. That's the heart of it. We're not trying to reverse the clock. We're trying to reclaim presence, energy, connection. And the good news is, your body is built to respond. Give it what it recognizes, nutrients, color, flavor, and it begins to respond in kind. So if you've been feeling dull, foggy, or distant in your own skin, I encourage you, reach for sunshine. Not metaphorically, but literally. A slice of mango, a peeled orange. Let them clear the static inside you. Let them invite you back to the surface of your own life. You are not invisible. You are not past feeling. You are one habit away from remembering who you are. Perfect. Below is the final summary and uplifting conclusion, written in a heartfelt, motivating tone, designed to gently wrap up the message, tie the parts together, and inspire lasting change. Still in the voice of Dr. James Rowen. One daily ritual, one powerful change. Your invitation to reconnect with life. Let's pause here. Not to end the conversation, but to recognize how far we've come. If you've followed this journey from the beginning, I hope you're starting to see what I've seen in hundreds of men over the years. That vitality doesn't disappear with age. It simply waits for your invitation to return. We began with pomegranate and watermelon, the powerhouse duo that ignites your body's nitric oxide engine and gets the blood flowing again, quietly, naturally, and effectively. We then turned to blueberries and strawberries, your vessel's gentle protectors, helping restore the flexibility and responsiveness your body needs to feel again. Then came kiwi and red grapes, working deep within your cardiovascular system, to lower pressure and quietly repair what time and tension may have worn down. We explored apples and avocados, a daily foundation for strengthening and nourishing your arteries, proving that everyday foods can create extraordinary change. And finally, we turned to mangoes and oranges, the bright, uplifting allies that help clear away the fog, fight the fatigue, and awaken that quiet spark of joy and intimacy that may have been buried for too long. You see, this was never just about fruit. It's about the message these choices send to your body every day. You still matter. You're still capable. You are still alive. What I've shared with you isn't theoretical. It's been lived, felt, and proven in my practice. I've seen men go from hopeless to hopeful, from disconnected to deeply present, simply by choosing to nourish themselves with intention. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't need to transform your entire lifestyle overnight. Just begin with one pairing, one small change, a slice of fruit with your morning coffee, a bowl of berries after your walk, a piece of avocado toast at breakfast. These aren't diet tricks. They're invitations to feel again, to reconnect with your partner, your body, and the quiet joy of being truly present. Let me remind you of something important. The body you have right now, yes, even after 60, even after decades of wear, is still listening. It hasn't stopped responding. It's just waiting for the right rhythm, the right nourishment, the right care. So if you've ever looked in the mirror and wondered, is it too late? Let me answer that with certainty. It is not. It is never too late to feel strong again. It is never too late to feel desire again. It is never too late to love again. And if no one's told you this recently, let me be the first. You deserve that kind of life. Before you go, take one simple step. If this message spoke to you, if even one part of you feels the hope stirring again, then don't let it stop here. Choose one of the 5 fruit pairings and make it part of your day tomorrow. Share this with a friend or loved one who needs to hear it. And most importantly, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next guide. Every week, I'll be here, offering science-backed, compassionate advice for men over 60 who want to live, love, and lead with strength. You are not alone on this path. There is still so much life ahead. And it begins with one bite, one breath, one quiet belief. I can feel good again. With care and respect, Dr. James Rowen.